Good evening, everybody. WallStLoonz, Happy New Year, you filthy animals. Do you remember last year? I'm going crazy with Joby at 559 goes to 22, right? Here we are again. 2026 will be what they're calling the magic moment for eVTOLs. Keep in mind, you're going to catch some Davy and Goliath, Archer, i.e. from Joby, but remember what I've been telling everybody. Joby is number one. They're a year ahead of them with FAA registration and all the other specs and analytics that come on with getting these things up in the air. Okay, here we go. All right. Joby, Joby, Joby. Right? You got your close at 1555. Remember I plugged it 4 or 5 days ago when I was recommending Cardano, which was the crypto that got hit the hardest, down to 33 cents. I put Joby on the board around 13 and change. Would have loved to see it back above the 50-day moving average. Okay, so you got to close at 1555. And I love it because we had a 2-point run the last 48 hours, 2 and change. We got some profit taken today. So I'd be all over it. Also, during this whole sell-off that's happened, it based in around $13 a share. Remember what I told you about the 80-20 moment? I like stocks with 80% chance of upside, 20% chance of downside, or 80% chance of a triple, and maybe 3 to 4 points downside. Case in point, Joby at 15 and change. All right, so here's your moving averages. You're above your 50, you're above your 200 day. I was recommending this stock last year, and if everybody remembers, institutions are everything. You know, pension plans, mutual funds, ETFs, etc. If you look back a year ago when I was jumping on this puppy at 559, everybody was bitching and moaning about Archer this, Archer that. Institutional interest was around 6-7%. Look at this at 37%. Haven't even made a dime yet, and they're coming in. Insiders, 35%. Your short interest, like I mentioned the other day, was 62 million. Now it's down to 56. So the shorts are covering slowly but surely. Here's the float. That's what's out there in the public. Okay, that's what you could trade right now. Your outstanding is 911, but your float is 592 million shares. This is really important. This is the first change in aviation history in 80 freaking years. 13, now 1555. Okay, you got $1 billion in cash, and you got the beast supporting them. Toyota. You saw the recent agreements with Uber. It goes on and on and on. But check this out. IEE Spectrum is a newsletter or a magazine, comes out every year with the hottest and the cutting edge tech of the year. Editors bets, they don't bet, they do a shitload of homework on cutting edge tech every year or startups. Now I can give you dozens, and literally from 2018 on to 2000 current 26, but 2018, they reported on startup Z-Plane. Z-Plane would deploy autonomous drones to deliver blood. I'm sure you're dealing with the kidneys, etc., right? Medical supplies immediately using these drones. It was a startup. Today, Z-Plane has a market cap of over $4 billion. You're dealing with a company that was $5-10 million company. Japan and the U.S. alone delivered over 2 million deliveries. What I love about Joby now is you got an executive order from Trump. So you have a backstop with the U.S. government. Executive order, deploy air taxis, and of course they're going to end up putting guns and all kinds of crap on these airships. AAMP, Advanced Air Mobility Plan. So Trump and the U.S. government now is backstopping them. That's why I think the downside is 2 to 3, major sell-off, maybe 4. Your upside, David and Goliath. Okay, Boeing and Airbus. The next Boeing and Airbus. Joby, I see Archer. There's a couple other names in Europe. But Joby's where it's at, people. They're doubling capacity from 2 now to 4 a month. Unprecedented demand. They're going to start flying these in Dubai this summer. Regulations a little bit less off. But you're going to see these things all over the skies at the end of this year, possibly the end of the summer. Remember what I said, Joby, Joby, Joby. The president is on TV the other day, and he's got this little smile on his face of gratitude. And you can see, like, behind that smile, something huge is happening. I mean, the guy is, he was trying to not be very excited about what's going on, but he was talking about the magic moment. This is their year. And believe me when I tell you, when the institutions and the pension plans and they turn their first dollar, this is a $50 stock. I think Joby down here, though. Your downside is 3, maybe 4 if we get a major sell-off. Your upside, 12 months out, 38, 48, 58. Joby, Joby, Joby. Loonz is back in the game. Have a good evening. Get on board.